Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel. I'm Reagan.
I'm Renee, and this is What the Romance.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Hey y'all, welcome back. Feli, should we tell them what we're doing today?
Of course, we should tell them it's only the biggest podcast that we're doing.
Probably gonna be the longest, but we're gonna try not. We do have a special guest with us, another fan of Den of Vipers, April Crane. She's here. Hey!
Hi.
We have another romance lover up in here. It's great. Dark Mafia. What is your favorite romance book, by the way?
Oh, book? I don't know if I could pick one.
Well, not book, but I guess trope, genre, maybe?
I definitely like dark, enemies to lovers, and age gap, probably. My favorite.
Those, I've dabbled in some of the age gaps, and some of them are really good, and then some of them are just like a little cringy in some parts.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're still good. Okay.
Let's jump into it because I'm excited, super excited.
Okay, I don't know. So I'm not that prepared.
All right, I got this.
That's not terrible of me to say that, but I did write one question down. It's terrible. Okay, I don't know if I should ask mine first though. I don't know if it's a first question kind of.
Okay, well, let's do this.
No,
So-
actually, I'm gonna ask it.
I'm gonna ask you because you want to know, huh?
Ask it, yeah. Okay, so my first and only question is, what's your order in which first being the one you feel for more and why? As in, like all of the characters or just the guys or whatever. Like we have our certain order of who like is our top to our least favorite, but I want to know which yours is.
First, I would say Kenzo, because he is just, I like his softy side. It's not something that you would expect from him, but he's like the go-to, I'm going to take care of her, be touchy-feely kind of guy, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ryder, then Garrett, and Diesel would be my last, just because sometimes he's a little too crazy for me.
Philly, you want to tell her yours? I'm pretty sure Philly's is actually yours, just swapped. Everything is swapped.
It definitely is just swapped. So my first one, because I just, from like the first chapter all the way through the last chapter, I fell in love with him. It's Diesel. I love his craziness. But as I read more, he does have the soft, like, sweet moments. And that's what I like. I'm not going to say I don't like when you're sweet all the time because that sounds bad. But I liked his sweet moments, but I also liked that he was not only like crazy, but he was also like very comical, and I just fell in love with him. My second would be Garrett, because the way they described him was just was chef's kiss to him. Ryder was my third because the alpha male in him just.
He actually was your last before though, until we just did this reread.
He was my last because I didn't really. I'm not gonna say I didn't pay attention, but I kind of just read a little faster over his chapters than I did taking my time on the other chapters. But he became my third. Like he crawled his way out there, and then Kenzo was my last because I think he's too sweet.
That's sweet. Okay, so mine, it didn't really change actually. Well, I guess. So like mine was hard because my third and my fourth are kind of literally neck and neck. So my first is Ryder. because I love the leader, I don't know, just the presence of him just being in control. I love that. Kenzo was my second because of how soft he is, but also how much of a daredevil he is and fun. Um, my third is actually Diesel because I do love his crazy and the softer sides of him, especially I saw way more in here because once I did this reread, I was a lot slower just because I really wanted to savor it. And I know I missed a lot in the last one, like when I first read it, and I did really connect with Garrett as I was hoping to in the second one either, but I still really I'm glad he was basically the main around this whole story. Like the whole thing happening was because of him.
That's true. I never noticed it until this reread that was basically his story.
Because his ex was with the triad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I freaking hate her.
every time they described her in this, I literally pictured like the ugliest like lady with like a burnt melted face, like I went really vicious with her visual. What do you think of Roxy, April?
Well, she's a badass for sure. I just love how, like, from the get go, she was who she is. You know, she didn't pretend to be anything other than herself. You know, she took charge, like, thinking these guys were there to God knows what to her, and she beat the hell out of a couple of them. And yeah, she just remained true to who she is the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm not gonna lie, the first time I read this book, like the first set of guys that came into the bar, I thought it was them. Like for a split second, and then like I was like, no, none of them are like coming in their commentary of like their point of view. So I was like, this isn't them.
yeah.
Let's see, what do I got? What do I got? Let's go. My foot just dropped on the floor.
Do you have the book, the actual book, April?
Yeah.
Do you tab too? Oh, she does. Oh my god.
I never used to, but I started now, especially like doing more stuff on Instagram. I like to include quotes and stuff, and if I'm not using my Kindle, obviously it's harder to find those things if I don't tab them in the book.
Totally agree. I didn't start doing tabs until this year as well, also because it helps with Instagram and with our podcasting too for when we're talking about stuff. When we do ones on the Kindle that I don't have, we use a notebook and we write them in here. It's funny. It's pretty fun. It can get really fun.
We opened up on the same one.
But do you color code, like go off of your colors for what you tab, or just kind of just tab with whatever?
I just tab. I'm not that organized. I would forget what color is what.
In the beginning, I wasn't, and like sometimes I'll start out organized and then I'll just literally just screw it.
Mine is always a character and what I feel, what color represents that character the best, and that's what I stick with. Whatever color that character gets, that's what I'm gonna stick with.
I will say I always choose yellow or like a gold one to do as like a big highlight or of a scene that I loved.
Okay.
Good idea.
I do those ones just because like it's a like, you know, bright color. Okay, did you figure out what you're gonna ask? Because I did figure out another question too.
If you want to go ahead and ask, I was just gonna start.
I do a lot of this on the spot, so
go ahead, take it away.
Okay. So is there anything in the, so when you think of Den of Vipers, what do you like first comes to your head? Like, is it a scene, a line, or just the way one of the guys acts or that you like, or like anything?
I think I would say craziness. Because honestly, I think if I remember correctly, this is my first like dark romance that I ever read, and like obviously it's definitely
A go-to.
on the dark side compared to some other ones. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, am I into this? Yeah.
Oh, am I into this? Maybe. No.
Yes.
So yeah, I would say
I
crazy.
Definitely.
agree. Faye, what do you think of when you think of Den of Vipers? And don't just say Diesel.
Fanny pack.
Dude, okay, a little off topic. I have his fanny pack sticker on my laptop. I wish I could show. I also have freaking cards, like playing cards with Kenzo's name across the top of it too.
Yes.
But honestly, I think of just like when I think of Den of Vipers, because it's like it's intense. You start kind of like feeling the emotions that they're feeling. You start kind of just getting into their world, and it's just so intense. It gives me anxiety. I mean, at least the first time I read it, I was like through the roof with anxiety. I was like, can't breathe.
So the scene basically that lives in my head that I think every time somebody says Den of Vipers, it's Roxy, go-to girl herself.
I think it is too.
The moment she got kidnapped and she's tortured, and they come into the room and she's like, "Hey boys, just want to let you know my safe word is bubbles."
Love her.
Anytime somebody brings up Den of Vipers, I don't know why, but that comes in my head because it's just the way it was so like how it was presented. You can like visualize it like to the T.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just incredibly comical the entire time. Like she had something witty to say after everything or in silence. And it was.
She was so sarcastic. I loved it.
I was living for it. Oh, it was good. Yeah, every time I think of Den of Vipers, that's what's in my head. and or another scene, but that might come up later.
Okay, so I want to ask, because I have a list of the nicknames that I like that they call her, and mine would be Baby by Garrett and then Little Bird by Diesel. Who is, like, what nickname did you love the most that you were just like, oh, love it? Taylor, I already know yours.
I like Little Bird. I guess that's the one that sticks out most to me.
You should tell her what it means.
Okay. So we were thinking, because like throughout the book you see like kind of like British slang almost, or like they kind of have British words in there. And I was thinking, no, they're not British. Like I'm thinking New York style mafia or like Jersey style mafia. Well, I was scrolling. I was scrolling through like British slang website, and I came across bird, and I was like, what the hell? People call people birds over there? It means, what did it mean, girl?
Girl, yeah, little girl.
So he's calling her little girl. So
now she doesn't.
It makes sense when like Diesel's calling her that. I could see him
Yeah, that's true.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was excited for that. I was like, it's little girl. I was like, oh. Cheers.
Yes. Mine's not even a nickname. I love when Ryder calls her Roxanne.
Just her full name, Roxanne.
I love when he calls her Roxanne and she's like, "Ooh, I'm in trouble."
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it.
But I was pointing this out to Faye a while ago about when Kenzo calls her darling. So she didn't like it because she thinks it's like full on darling. But in my head, I'm thinking of a completely different aspect of it. Have you ever seen Sons of Anarchy?
Yes.
April?
Mhm.
So you know how Jax Teller says darlin'?
Yes.
That's what I picture when Kenzo was saying it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because like I know in the book it spells it out to the like all like literally, but that's what every time I read it, that is in my head.
Yeah, I can see
And then
that.
I told her that, and she was like, you know, I like it a lot more now.
But I'm still not budging. Definitely Baby and Little Bird are at my top.
I do like Garrett in his for sure, because it was I love hers for Garrett, big guy.
Yes, big
Yeah.
guy. Love it.
And I was also saying from Sons of Anarchy, Opie. I picture him as Garrett.
Oh yeah, I love Opie.
I do too. He's so like tall and muscular. That's literally what I was picturing.
Yeah.
I had to slow down with my tabs though, guys, because I would have used all of my tabs for this book.
I think I used like at least a good 3/4 of my time. Looking at 4 as a whole. And I only got 1.
Yeah, I did write in here because I started writing in my books now too. I did write who the colors were under. Did you?
I would have to do that or I would forget.
Wow, fam, we didn't even plan that, and we are the same. It's scary.
I did it too, because in the middle of the book, I honestly forgot who was orange, and I started making that one Roxy, but she was green and Garrett was orange. So I was like, ah, shit, I'm gonna have to freaking just change it.
I would have been really creeped out if our colors were the same people, but I don't think they are. Because Roxy is purple for me.
Oh, see, I don't have a purple, so I made it orange.
Ryder is my orange.
Ryder's my blue.
There's a lot of orange in here.
There's a lot of pink in mine, and pink was Diesel.
Diesel is red for me. Because
Well,
I
didn't.
I
so
see
pink.
blood when I hear his name.
I just think of his damn fanny pack.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Anytime I see unicorns now, it's just not the same.
It's not the same. Unicorns are grenades.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. April, you go with your first tab.
Oh my gosh. Hang on.
Mine's at the beginning of the damn book.
First page.
I'm not fucking with
I
you.
honestly have. You know what? Mine's literally the next page, so it's okay, Faye.
I guess mine, I'm in 57 pages. So
Shit.
Okay, hold on. I want to get to it.
it's the paragraph that starts not quite halfway down, where he smiles then, and it's so cold and evil, I actually shudder. And I just love how he goes into how he can find out anything he wants about anybody, and where he says, "Give me a day and I can destroy you with everything I know." Just goes to show how like powerful and in control he is.
Yep, I love that too. It's highlighted, yep, for sure. Oh, yep, that one was.
Yeah.
It was.
That's a good one.
All right, Faye, since you got the first page.
I can't, because it's the freaking not even, it's a second like little short paragraph sentence. It's I told him once I could scar his face. It might make others take him more seriously. I don't know why he said no. It's just, it sums up who Diesel is. Like, he's so like,
Are you kidding me?
I don't know why.
The next page for him, it says, "I'm the fucking Grim Reaper."
Yes.
I have that one. I was like, because like that's just like the one thing to describe Diesel, honestly.
Yeah. Oh,
That is-
yes.
That is Diesel.
Diesel, yeah.
Okay, so since we're more in the beginning than April, I guess we should go first. Clearly, we got a little. Clearly, we got a little excited.
We got so excited at the beginning.
Okay, so a lot of my tabs were in the beginning because I did do a lot of tabs in the beginning just because a lot of them were just descriptions of characters. So that one, the red one, the first one being Diesel, was him saying, "I'm the Grim Reaper." The second one was them looking over the file of Roxy and like describing her.
Dude, I'm gonna be totally honest. My first 3 are all Diesel.
Of course they are.
I told you, like, once I started reading, I fell in love with him automatically.
So
there was nothing.
I actually did stick with this the color scheme of who is who. Like I said, Ryder is orange, and there is 8 tabs of orange on here. And Garrett being my least favorite, there is 1 blue on here.
How dare you, first of all. Freaking dare you.
But that 1 tab of his is it's up there.
Okay. Don't say it yet.
It's up there.
Okay. Yeah, my first 3 are Diesel. Honestly, it's the one that he says, "I think I'm in love. Do you think she would shoot me if I asked?"
Yeah, it's because he found the gun. That one was funny because he jumps on her bed and like lays on it, and then he's like, "I think I'm in love." I love his little. Every time he says stuff like that, like a lot in here, just kind of like thrown in there, saying, "I'm gonna marry her," or like stuff like that.
Yeah. He was being totally honest.
I know, I loved it. He's the word vomit.
But my next one is the fun fact that Diesel said about the eyes melting.
Oh, yeah.
Or the eyes don't just melt, they burst.
Yeah. Okay, question. How do you think these authors like come up with this shit? Like, do they Google it? Do they know somebody? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, they have to Google that. Because,
Yeah.
like, unless they know somebody, they're like, "Hey, so you remember, like, when you burnt that guy's face?
Like,
Did
how
it melt or did it burst?"
It's like, hold on, let me call my speed dial 1.
What's up?
Oh,
It would be like or some shit.
What I was saying in the beginning is a lot of my tabs in the beginning are descriptions of all of people. So this one was Ryder going over the actual like folder of Roxy, and it says like 24, 5'6", gray hair, brown eyes. Credit history is shocking, and there are some sealed documents from when she was 17. And it does dark eyes, blind and smoky, big plump red lips, high arched cheekbones and eyebrows, short shoulder length, unnatural silver hair, which suits her pale complexion. Her cleavage catches my eye in the AC/DC top she's wearing when this was taken, because he has a picture of her too. I did point this one out. It's Kenzo and Ryder. I love the fact that they're brothers, by the way. I don't know why I like that, but I like it. I love how he's like first dibs, and then Ryder says, "Eyes on the prize, baby brother," and he's like, "Roxy is that prize."
Yep.
I just loved it. It was just, and the fact is, he's like first dibs, and he did have her first twice.
Yeah, I love that first scene with them where he's like chasing her and pins her down and stuff, and Diesel eventually does witness it as well.
He's like, "That was hot." He's like, I literally pictured him like at the end of the hallway, like this, like draped.
Yeah.
I did have page 15 highlighted. It's just a yellow highlight, just because I loved what it says. It says, "Dry shampoo is a girl's best friend.
That's completely true.
Page 27, like chapter 6, is Roxy, and she literally pretty much the whole chapter explains all of these to a T.
Yes.
That's when they come into the bar.
Yeah, I was gonna go over that. I loved how she like looked at each and every single one of them and described them, and you can just envision it. You can see all four of them. You can see her standing there with her fucking bat.
Literally visualize her coming out from like the back of the bar or whatever, and like opening this door and just seeing these four guys just posted up, and she's just in here. It says go home. Like she's yelling at him in the back, like this isn't gonna be good. Go.
Yeah. How she's so confident in her ability to take care of business that she's like, I don't need you here. Just go.
For real. And Ryder is the one who responds first. He's like smart, like and that's who she describes first. And it's like I still haven't found my Ryder yet as like Pinterest wise. I've seen lots of TikToks of people finding guys who look like it, but I don't know, they're not hitting it for me, I guess.
Send you a TikTok not too long ago of a girl who did them.
Yes. It wasn't for me.
No.
Some of them were, but not for Ryder. Ryder is my go-to. Okay, he's my number one. I gotta find him. Like I already found my Garrett. It's Opie.
And then the guy for Diesel is the one that I sent you today.
Who his name is?
In the leather jacket.
Leather jacket guy, because that's all Diesel wear.
Long blonde.
Trying to think. So like with Kenzo, it's hard to find somebody with him too, because I don't know why, but I picture Kenzo with like this tall, tan. Like
I picture him like the skinnier one out of the
Yes, I do picture that. I do picture that too. Him being like the skinnier one because he's so not. Softer. I guess is the only way to put it. Softer than the rest of them, but not as like because Diesel and Garrett go to the pit all the time. They go to fight, so they're out of all the guys, you would think Diesel is the craziest, but it's really Ryder.
It really is. Well, there's two different crazies.
Yes, there's two different crazies. Diesel's the messy crazy. Ryder's the clean one.
And Diesel's the one that he just lets his crazy out.
Yeah.
He doesn't hold back.
How about this? What is your favorite scene in the book, April? It doesn't have to be a spicy scene. It could be any kind of scene.
Oh man. I think at least one of my favorites is when Roxy and Kenzo go to that. I don't even remember whose mansion it was, but it's gambling.
For the gambling, that's one of my favorites too.
Where she doesn't hold back and lets all these snooty
I love
guys.
Kept secret that she was like, oh, did I forget to mention I gamble too?
That one always sticks out in my mind. Oh, and the tattoo scene. That one that was one of my favorite too.
That's my blue tab. The only Garrett blue tab that reveals itself in my book is the tattoo part. I know that's terrible, but man.
That's I'm not gonna say that's my favorite sex scene though, because it was really good. It was really good. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all gonna think I'm fucking insane for this one, okay. But it's a decent scene.
Of course it is.
It's their first time down in the dungeon.
Yep. It was a good
one. He stood up her. Let the imaginations
It's
go
not-
wild.
Is that the one where he does it with the gun?
No, it's not that one. It's the first time where he takes the picture of her.
Oh,
When he had
yeah, and he sends it to
her
the
hair.
guys.
all the guys.
I totally forgot about that picture until, like, remembering Ryder mentioned it.
Is that the
That's
eyeball popping scene too?
I think it is.
it is.
Diesel, you crazy bastard.
I love him. I'm in love with him.
Guys, this book is unhealthy for us. I'm just kidding.
Honestly, it's unhealthy for anybody who reads it. It's not just unhealthy for us. It's unhealthy for everybody. I suggest people read it.
For real.
You know, and I've seen, like, when I first started reading it, because I just saw, like, the snippet of it's when she leaves, when she tries to escape.
Oh, when Kenzo is the one who has to do it.
And she's like, and then he runs after her and he's like, I lied. I will follow you always. I'll hunt you across the world. Even if you hate me, us for it, I'll drag you back kicking and screaming. Hit me, slap me, fight me. I don't care. The pain is worth it to have you with me, darling. I love you too much to let you go. I'm too fucking selfish to let the best thing to us walk away. You're ours. I saw just that snippet on Facebook, and that's all it took for me to find it.
Yeah, not gonna lie, the first time I read that book, I bawled so hard.
I still tear up to this day. Like,
I teared up really bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was sitting there and, like, there was, like, a tear that literally just, like, it just fell. Like, I wasn't, like, full on sobbing the first time. It was like a slow fall of a tear. It was dramatic.
yeah, that part, I was like, oh my God, she's gonna leave them. I was like, why would she do that? She's in love with them.
I would say the fact that she stood there. I think she was more in shock, and then she stood there and just bolted. I was like, damn, she did it.
She's gone.
She go.
But the fact that Ryder and that selfless, that he was like, okay, like, but I can't do it because I'm in love with her. But you can do it because, like, you have that heart.
Yeah, because Kenzo he knows how to use his heart and soft side when it's needed. I did note in here that I love, like, going back to, I love all of their different bonds with Roxy and how they're so different and they're I love how she literally is like the girl version of Ryder, and
Yeah.
he is a boss, and whenever she can tell that he's like in his head and like not present, I guess, she finds some way to literally like snap him out of it. And I love the part in the kitchen when she threw the flour at his face. And they had a fight. I loved it.
Yeah, that was like a girl character that does that, like, takes the character's, like, headspace and clears it for them.
Yeah.
Shows how strong they are.
I loved it.
I feel like she has like a little bit of each one of the guys as part of her personality.
Yes.
Does that makes sense? I feel like that's why they kind of mesh so well together, is she has a little bit of every one of them.
She really does. Literally. I mean, Ryder, she has boss. Kenzo, she can gamble. She loves
And
the
not only that, she's really sweet when she can be.
Yes. Yes.
And she loves it.
And she challenges, I don't know what she does really for Garrett other than not challenges him, but I don't know.
They both have scars from their past of being, like, abused and basically tortured. So
Yeah.
that's what kind of them.
True, yeah. Yeah. I loved the part when they were talking about how they can find a way for him to be able to touch her. And she went and got the chains from Diesel. he woke her up, or she woke him up, and he slapped her with his dick. And
That's
she,
probably like
what did
if
she
one-
say? She's like, what? She's like, the first thing you do when you get woken up is hit him with your dick, or something like that.
It's right here. I got it. I thought I would try and scare him in his sleep like he does me. It didn't work. I laugh. What did he do? Slap me with his like that word. I don't like that word, so I'm not gonna say it.
You don't like any of those words. Every time one of those words come up, so you're just like blah blah blah.
Okay, there's two I can't say. It's three. The C word, the see you next Tuesday, and then the
See?
that one, and that one. I can't say those. I can read them, I can hear them, but I physically cannot say those words. They're ugly for me to say.
Ugly.
They're ugly. Coming out of my mouth, they're freaking hideous.
So talking about how Garrett and Roxy are kind of similar. One of my highlights was from chapter 33. It's one of Garrett's chapters, page 321, and how it's kind of finally her breaking through to him. It's kind of like 3/4 of the way through that really long paragraph.
Oh yes.
Where it says, healing isn't easy, sweetheart. In some ways, it's worse than the actual abuse, and you'll have setbacks and get disheartened, but it's worth the try. Otherwise, you're still caught in those memories, still fighting for survival. And how he says, "I'm tired of fighting."
Yeah. I think I did start really like feeling more for Garrett, but I mean, like I said, I only had one tab, and I'm sorry, guys. I love Garrett though. Like, I'm not saying I don't. Like, I love that he got her a gun that says Viper's Girl. I loved that. And what else? I love that Kenzo got her a car. Because if you like list or remember, they all have their own things. Like Ryder's office, like he's always in the office. Kenzo always has his dice, but also he has his toys, and because when they were talking about the new house, he was talking about a garage for Kenzo and all of his toys. So he definitely loves cars.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like the way they described the car that he got for her was sexy.
I love how he was all about going shopping for her, like towards the beginning, like, we have to make her feel comfortable, so let's buy her, all this stuff at that spa or salon or whatever it is, and go buy a bunch of clothes. Like, he thought that was like the greatest thing ever, to go and do all that stuff for her.
I want that leather jacket they got for her.
Dude, I want all the clothes they got for her.
Same.
Jewelry. I'm not gonna lie.
Same. But I love
the gun.
I did. This is probably like one of the funnest scenes, or just out of this whole book, that I genuinely like enjoyed and laughed like with a real smile. Like I was feeling it. It was when Roxy, Garrett, and Diesel and Kenzo. No, it was Garrett, Diesel, and Roxy. They were at the house. It was just them because Kenzo and Ryder were off doing something. And it was, what trouble can we get up to now? And it's page 370. And it's Roxy, and it says, turns out we can get into a lot of trouble. I seem to have started a prank war amongst the Vipers. But these criminals don't fill water balloons with flour or hide fake snakes somewhere. No, they play it for fucking real. It's crazy, and I can't help but laugh as we mess with Kenzo's car. We decide to spray paint it, which I'm betting it's worth millions. I draw dicks on it because why not? And so does Diesel. Garrett helps, and we all giggle like little kids as we do it. For Ryder, we head to his office, which is below the apartment. Diesel suggests a grenade under his chair, but we luckily managed to veto that idea. I really want to ask where he got the grenade, but honestly, it just doesn't surprise me. Instead, we do something equally as crazy. We buy a brothel in his name. Oh,
They have
God.
too much money to play with.
Yeah, and the fact that the name of the brothel is Slippery Hold.
Oh,
And I love how, like, Ryder instantly calls them.
Yeah.
He's like, Garrett, Slippery Hold, what the fuck is happening? That one was really funny. It was good. I probably, if I was cooped up like that, I would definitely do some of that kind of prank wars for sure.
Or when she goes through and cuts up all his suits.
That was in like the first, like when he first kidnapped her.
Yeah.
It was the first night or something. The next day it was just her and Kenzo, but he told her you can like go and like explore or whatever. It was the first place that she went to, and she just did it. I laughed so I was like, damn.
this one's on 204. And it says, it's a writer. It says, tomorrow, or I guess later today, I'll put my careful walls back up and slip into a suit. Changing back to the cruel leader of the Vipers, but here and now with her sleeping against my chest, our legs intertwined and fingers laced together, I let myself be weak for just a moment for her. I was like, okay, that's sweet. I was like, yeah, I'm sort of in love.
Sorta.
It's not.
One of mine for Ryder as well was from chapter 35, page 363.
Oh my god, I'm on that page.
Where he says, she set me free from my demons without even trying. Never has this home had such laughter or happiness. It echoes around these silent, miserable walls, filling it with life, filling it with her.
We the same. It's my big tab too.
All right.
That was great. Love it. I had like really it's one for Kenzo. And it was when he was telling Roxy that she's free. This one really, like, I literally ended up like I put my book down and I started like crying, and I'm like, oh my god, like, why am I in my feels so hard? And it was page 379 and chapter 37. It was stay, be ours, keep Ryder sane, melt that ice and give him the love he never had but deserved. Love Garrett even though he struggles to love himself. Love Diesel even though it might kill you. And love me even though I don't deserve it. Be my greatest win. Yes! Yes! Oh, I just loved how like he played all of them and what their aspects are, and like the fact that he put in "Be my greatest win." I was like, oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. How could she run after that?
I know, right? I even wrote in it, like, it says, "Damn it, Kenzo." Oh God, I love how he was just so in his feels. And like,
one of my highlights is from the following chapter, which is Roxy, on page 382, where she asks herself, so why am I running? Because I'm scared of how much I want them, how much they've consumed me, how right I feel in their arms, in their life. The cold, controlling alpha, the damaged enforcer with a heart of gold, the romantic, charming gambler, and the insane killer with an obsessive heart. I love her descriptions of.
Yeah. I just love this book. It's definitely a thrill. That's a
It is.
ride for sure.
Yeah.
Also, this is more of like, I guess, a question for you guys, but also because this is what I feel. If I was able to be put into this book in a certain scene, like to like live it, I would be in the scene where they kidnapped Roxy. That whole fighting scene, and when they went into the building and like they see her when she like breaks loose and like she like whips her hair up and she's like, what did she say? It was something funny. It was like, did you guys save some fun for me or something like that? I don't know. It was funny, but I wish I could just witness that whole scene because it was definitely well said and put into the book for visual aspects.
Yeah.
But did not like the fact that Kenzo got stabbed.
Yeah, that was.
Because the way that Garrett was describing it when it happened literally killed me. Oh my God. I have so many lines highlighted and underlined from when Roxy was kidnapped. When she found out one of the guys' names is Franny.
Oh, I have.
She's like, hey, Franny, you think your mom called you that because of your giant vagina?
She's such a bitch. I love her.
It was so great. And then the other one was what they asked her, tell me how to get into their apartment. Andrew questions, so they don't know that much. And she's like, so they don't know that much. I don't know. They like to blindfold me, the kinky bastards. He stabbed me again and I groaned but breathed through it. The agony is surging inside me. And she's like, don't fucking pass out, Roxy. When I feel like I'm not going to, smile at him, my lips feeling a bit numb. Can I call a friend for the answer? And then he was like, come on, Roxy. It would be a shame to waste such a woman. Tell me what I need to know. Tell me everything about the Vipers. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna hard pass on that one. No pass go. No collecting your money. Bitch, those fuckers are insane. And like a little bit down on that one on page 466 when she's like, I watch as he lifts the knife covered in blood. It reminds me of Diesel and weirdly my pussy clenches like, really, ho? Now is not the time. I love how she doesn't do it just once, but she does it several times where she talks to her vagina.
Part of that,
or some shit like that.
part of that whole scene, on page 459, when she kind of just wakes up and they enter the room and she says, "Evening, our souls, is this a new kink? Because I gotta admit, it's not doing it for me. I'm wet, but honestly, I think I peed myself a little, so I wouldn't take that as a point for you." Like, she's slamming them right off the bat.
So that whole entire chapter, like the whole scene of her just being in the house and being like captured, I was living it, honestly. I was loving it too.
And then she's talking about the leather pants because he comes in wearing leather pants. And she's like, do you chafe? Because I chafe a lot. Like, and he just answered back, baby powder.
I love Roxy. Honestly, I would probably turn for her. I'm just kidding. Oh my God. Hey, should I tell April about me and my husband? And
Well, now you have to.
okay, April. So my husband's like my biggest supporter, and he always asks me every so often when I have a book. He's like, so who's breaking hearts this time go around, or who's gonna break your heart? or whatever. But as I was reading this one day he just came home and like, so our thing together is like we like to shower together. No real thing about it. I don't know, we just enjoy it. So we're in there, and then out of nowhere, I'm like washing my hair. And I look at him and I'm like, how do you feel about knife play? And he looks at me like,
What?
and then he grabs my shoulders and he's like, honey, this is real life. It's not like your books. This is not like your books. He's like, and I was like, well, it can be. He's like, yeah, you're right. It can be. But how do you feel about a paper cut? And I'm like,
Point taken.
You're right.
It only sounds good in the books when it's happening to someone else, but I would be fucking scared shitless if someone was like, "Wapa," and just was like,
And you're just like,
I'd be like, "Yep, this is where I die today."
but seriously, it was like the funniest thing ever that happened. We just started busting out laughing. He's like, where did that come from? I was like, it's just the book I'm reading. He's like, oh, that dark mafia shit you're reading. I'm like, yeah, those.
Yeah. Yeah, my husband is all about me reading all these books. Obviously, they're mutually beneficial at times. And he'll sit and listen to me talk about all the crazy things that they're doing in whatever book. And he's like, whatever makes you happy, like.
Same. Same. My husband is my biggest supporter. He was our first subscriber on here.
Yeah.
It was great. But yeah, he's a keeper. And last night I was finishing up a book and he looks at me, he's like, why do you look so angry? I was like, I'm pissed off at this bitch. She's pissing me off.
Was it Malia? It was Malia.
And he's like, what happened? I was like, stupid blonde cheerleaders suck. Sometimes I get really into it. It's funny.
Yeah, it's horrible. I don't like to be interrupted while I'm reading. Especially like with the Den of Vipers, I was interrupted like 14 times in like a matter of 5 minutes. And at that point, I threw my book and I was like, okay, I'm done for the night, I guess. What else do you need to do? Like, now I'm not reading. Congratulations, you got what you wanted.
Like, I need you. I did have some pages folded over because I wanted to save some tabs. And actually, one of those folded pages is Garrett. So technically, he has another one.
No, technically not, because you dissed him and only gave him one tab. So no, it doesn't count. You just folded a page.
Okay, rude. I love how he takes her to the fight scene 605, page 605, and they're in the lockup room.
That's a good one.
Heyo.
Dude, I got that tab. That's right here.
Yeah.
That's right here.
Yeah. She's like, hell yes, burgers. Sex always makes me hungry. Loved it. Oh, it's great. I look at on the next page, it's chapter 67. It's Kenzo, and I highlighted just him saying darling. Darling.
I did that too with hold on. I did that with Garrett, just calling her baby.
Oh man, it's great. Love this. Also, I did actually bring up another thing to my husband. I was like, honey, how do you feel about a black house? And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, painting the house black. Like, he's like, what do you mean? The inside? I'm like, no, the outside. Like, we have a black house. And he's like, why? And I'm like, why not? It's cool. He's like, do you want to be the creepy house with black? I'm like, yeah, I love it. I love Halloween, so it fits. So who knows? I think next summer the house might be black. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll be there.
Yes. You're gonna help me paint.
Of course.
Yes, the way they describe the new house is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the scene where they're in the new house, right? And he's like, well, you better get a maid because blood's gonna be hard to like scrub off the floor. And Ryder was just like, oh no, like we don't have to worry about that. Diesel just grabs out a fucking knife and cuts him, and he's like, clean it up.
Well, you could go my last tab. It's from page 632, where she's talking about, things that she's learned, and where she says, "From my vipers, I learned love is unconditional and can come at the strangest of times and places. And from myself, I learned it's okay to love yourself, even the darkest parts of you, no matter the shape, size, or weirdness you came with. Embrace your scars and never be ashamed to be who you are, because there is only one of you." Like that.
Can we talk about the fact that like, why is this bitch not pregnant?
I am surprised. I was hoping like when she got kidnapped. So when I first read the book, I was like, okay, she's kidnapped and she's gonna come out like being fucking pregnant because none of these assholes wore a condom.
Did they talk about her being on birth control? I don't remember.
No.
No, they don't, huh?
No. Nope, never once.
Yeah, that's
So
obviously they.
And like, okay. Also, another note. I keep thinking of this, but then I'm like, no. From the time that they got Roxy to basically the end of the book until we get to the epilogue, how much, I guess, how long do you think they were together? Because I'm vibing that they were only together for like 2 months.
Yeah, I think it wasn't really that long.
Not long at all.
I'm gonna go 2 to 3 months because, I mean,
I guess the way that they were, meetings with the triads and stuff like that, it made it seem like it was very close together and not like so stretched out.
Yeah.
yeah. But then again, it could be like 5 months or 6 months or 7 months, and really we don't know because they don't really give us a definite time.
Right. Yeah. I was just, that always was always in my head.
Speaking of the epilogue, hold on, let me get to it. Oh, right here, when they all propose to her.
I loved it, but I also hated it.
The only part I like is the rings.
That's the part I don't like.
I like the rings because each of the ring symbols each one of them.
Yeah, but I also was hoping that they would all come together to getting one big ring with something of each tagged onto it. Like, it could have been, like, I was picturing, like, they were going to be having, like, this decked out, like, it could have been, like, the big old diamond itself on a band with the cards on it for Kenzo, and boxing gloves for Garrett, and then the diamond itself either being the ruby or the orange one for Diesel, and or like the band itself being rubies or the orange one. No, I was thinking like big old nice like ring, not like 4.
Yeah. No, I liked 4 because
I mean, I like it for what they all had on their own ring. I did like that. But
I like the one part where Garrett has that ring from Daphne, and he says, "This was always yours. I just gave it away by mistake."
That was very cute.
I was just about to talk about that one because I loved it. I was like, yep, he sure did give it away by mistake. There you go.
I loved how Roxy literally slaughtered her.
Yeah.
Yes! She like saw tunnel vision and she was like,
yeah, she went into full Diesel mode.
oh yeah, love it. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh, this is fun. I'm so glad we did this, guys.
I am too.
Do you have a trigger, like, when reading, like, at all?
No. I haven't found one yet.
Same. I'm sure and Faye hasn't either.
Yeah.
No. There probably won't be one that I'm like, oh, I can't read that. I'll still read it and be like, am I into that? Probably.
I might be grossed out like by some things. Like I could never do that, but I haven't come across something that.
It's not gonna bother us to the fact of like, oh no, I'm not reading anymore.
Yeah, I haven't come across that.
I'm the same way. But yeah, I just have, sometimes when it's overused a lot, I don't like it. It's just cringy, kind of, like with the whole calling somebody daddy constantly. I can't do it. I don't know why. It's not doing it for me. Especially just if it's overused a lot, I guess.
Yeah. Sometimes if I read a lot of books by the same author, you start to notice certain words that they use over and over, and then it starts to get, I don't know, irritating, I guess, kind of. It's just, you notice it more then, and then it gets...
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, my Lord. All right. I guess we should end it.
Well, thanks for inviting me on your...
Of course. I'm really sad. Would love
No.
if they did like another, like, years down the road, how they're doing.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
It would
They
be.
should.
Because I mean, like, Roxy, like, she's getting all these bars put up in like everywhere, and they're buying so many gyms. Garrett's buying all these gyms and stuff like that. So like they're very much expanding. So like a lot more shit's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if they
That's
would
true.
like spin off character-wise, like if it was a new group of people, but then like Roxy's guys would have cameos in it, so you still got some
Well,
of them.
okay. Like
They did. She did.
What?
She did have a cameo in one of her other books, one of her other reverse harems. It's called Gangstas and Guns.
Oh, yes.
You meet Kenzo in it. You see Kenzo in it.
I do remember that now.
That was
Yeah, that's with Loxley Savage and K.A. Knight. Yes, that one was a good one too.
I don't know why.
You said
Every time I hear the name, I just love the name Kenzo. I don't know why, but I do. Thoroughly love that name.
I named my fucking rabbit Diesel because
Oh my god. Jeez. Oh, you're so funny, Faye. All right. Well, guys, let's close out. April, thank you for coming on, and we hope to have you again when we do the one that we're trying not to do.
the one we're gonna try and push back as many times.
Yeah.
All right. Well, drop like, subscribe, comment, love us. Thank you again. Bye, guys.